Hey, everybody. Thanks to everyone for joining us and for listening in today. If your kids are nearby, we certainly recommend that they listen in as well. Our goal for the Centercourt Webinar Series is to keep valuable information flowing to the tennis and to the local community, and to keep all of you engaged with creative ideas throughout the current challenging situation that we're all in. Those who are on this call, as well as our Centercourt family, are constantly talking, discussing ideas and topics that we feel will benefit everyone. I'm thrilled to be joined today by Conrad Singh, our COO, Director of Coaching and Head of Performance, Tim Clifford, our Director of Strength and Conditioning, and Adrian Contreras, who is our Director of High Performance. Our main topics of discussion today will focus on the athlete's mindset. All of our experts on the panel will be discussing ways to keep you and your athletes focused and engaged throughout the coming weeks, the months, and years. You, the audience, will be playing a huge role as well, as we highly encourage you to submit any questions and topics that you would like to have answered or discussed moving forward. Likewise, if anybody listening wants to join a panel discussion or join us as a guest, we would welcome that as well. After today, which we'll discuss later, we plan on running various webinar discussions and topics with a range of health professionals, various tennis ninja and team sport professionals and trainers, and we will also be posting some valuable information on social media, such as home and backyard drills and workout ideas. We plan on live streaming at-home workouts with our esteemed Mr. Tim Clifford to see if you all can keep up with him, as well as live streaming some drill training sessions that Coach Adrian will be doing with his son Iker. We really appreciate everybody joining us for this webinar. Please excuse any technical glitches that may occur. And we certainly look forward to seeing everybody back at the club real soon. Our first guest probably needs no introduction. He's down there with the hat on. Coach Adrian is a world-renowned tennis coach and runs the High Performance Academy. All right, Coach Adrian, take it away.
How are you guys? Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to be part of this webinar. First one of its kind. I'm very happy to join those who are with us now. And well, the topic, as you said very well, Ari, it's meant to provide our clients, our students, with ideas that can help them go through this next few weeks, months, perhaps, while they're going to be at home, accompanied by their siblings, perhaps, and parents. And so basically the idea is keep busy, continue playing tennis, and have that positive mindset where, those of us who are training tennis for the sake of becoming better competitors, we never want to stop, right? We always want to improve our skills, and certainly this time of isolation will be can be better used to achieve that goal. I have a few ideas that I want to discuss, but now number one, tennis is the way that I think about it is a never-ending problem solving, right? So this is definitely one situation that requires problem solving, no doubt. This is kind of like the ultimate challenge where we want to play tennis. We don't have the same space or equipment or schedule or time to do so. Yet it is our responsibility to find time, and in doing so, I believe we're going to strengthen self-confidence, which to me it is key. Knowing that you are prepping more and better than your possible opponents will definitely provide you with self-confidence. So going through these days, weeks, months, perhaps, doing as much as you can to stay busy playing tennis and work on shots, work on things that you've been working on, will definitely provide you with self-confidence. in addition to the obvious benefits of playing better. But there's a few activities that we can do. Obviously, each home might have a different setup. You might have a room, you might have a backyard, you might have a court nearby at a local high school. You might have a very limited space at in your garage. And so there's a few things that I believe can be done. I've done it myself. Growing up in Mexico, it was very very common to go at a wall and do a set of multiple exercises. But few activities. I mean, we can divide the whole group of drills and exercises in a few. But wall hits are definitely needed and can be done in almost any space. I'm gonna divide them in wall hits with small space around you, or wall hits with a little more space around you, like a garage or a wall at a park, right? You can also do self-feed. If you want to stay isolated and you don't want to be accompanied by somebody nearby, you take your bucket of tennis balls and do self-feeds. Those are very helpful as well. You can also have a parent feeding you, and there's a multiple drills that I'm gonna be uploading in the near future. Just simple samples where any parent with no coaching background can help their kids going over some drills. Also, and this is something that I think is going to be more fun and active and intense, provide with intensity, which is create circuits where you're going to combine some stay-at-home fitness drills with exercises using rackets and tennis balls. But these are some activities that we can use. They're all easy. They don't require a lot of space or equipment, and they should be safe, properly done, right? A few recommendations and necessities for this to happen, right? If you're gonna start a routine of exercises, you're gonna need some space, no? So you gotta define what kind of space you want to use. It has to be safe. It has to make if you have siblings around or things around you, you want to make sure everything is clear, more furniture around, and that matters. You don't want to break TVs or anything like this. To me, the most important thing when you're training, you have to have order. And I cannot stress this enough. Any kind of training requires order. The same way you go with your coach at your local clinic and your your programs back at home. You start with a warm up. You go over the work of the day. You start with simple things. You start with specific things, and then you move into some more real or more complex things. You want to give order to what you're doing. It's again, you will start doing things that you're not used to, but chances are we're gonna do this for X amount of days, perhaps weeks, maybe more. So you definitely want to give order to your activities. Okay, you want to schedule time. You want to put that into the regular schedule of your day, right? Most of us, we are dividing our time, in different ways, from waking up and showering to having breakfast to maybe go over some chores. For kids, you definitely want to keep them busy. You want to, as much as possible, keep them away from the iPad and things like that. You want to give them an hour, maybe an hour and a half, even up to 2 hours of actual training, right? And so that has to be scheduled. The more order you give to your day, the better it becomes. It becomes second nature over time, right? So for instance, we can decide that you guys are going to be training from 10 to 11:30 in the morning, and then continue with the other schedules, the other items in your schedule, and then come back and do another session from 4 to 5:30, perhaps in the afternoon. once you have your session set, you want to give order to that session, right? So the same way you on a regular training day, you're gonna start with a warm up. You want to start with simple exercises. You want to give order to that specific session. With it, your mind will be ready for the next thing. With it, it's gonna be easy for you to deviate, to get bored, forget about purpose, right? You want to have the equipment that you're going to be using ready. You want to have small rackets, paddles, perhaps. You want to have even ping pong paddles. I'm going to show you some exercises that I do with my 2-year-old. I have a 2-year-old son, and we literally play with ping pong paddles, and we rally. We use beach balls and different things like this, and we have some space at home, and we do forehands, and then we do forehands, backhands. We do practice ready positions. We do volleys and so on. I use small orange dot balls. I use red dots. I use the foam ones. So you want to have some equipment around you. All right. But this is all going to just add variety, is going to add fun to it. You got to make it fun. Whatever session you have, it has to be fun, because remember, this is not a one-day thing, or it's not going to be something that you will do every now and then. You want to create a routine of it. So it has to be fun. There has to be some variety. There has to be some purpose behind it. And that will be the other thing. The same way you work for something in your private sessions, private lessons and clinics, you want to add purpose to that specific session. It might be working on your continental grip. It might be working on the firmness of your wrist. But you gotta have the purpose that you're pursuing very clear in that one session. All right. And last, I want to talk about what I call, you want to exercise, like the few things that you can add to your session or that you want to work on.
Adrian, can I stop you for a second real quick?
Absolutely, yeah.
Can you, before we move on to Coach Tim, can you let everybody know where you're going to be posting some videos? We're obviously going to do webinars with just you as well to go over like all the ideas that you have. Can you let everybody know like how they can access some of the drills that you're going to be posting and ideas that you do with your kids and stuff that you've been talking about?
Sure. I mean, I'm going to be uploading some videos. I'm going to send them to our marketing manager at Centercourt, and they'll be uploading it and give access to whoever's registered here. I'm going to try to send at least 1 or 2 drills per day. And those are going to be posted for everybody to see in our social media for sure.
That's awesome. Really appreciate it. I'm sure everybody that was listening did as well. We're going to move on to our second guest, who has been at Centercourt almost as long as I have. Tim Clifford is our head strength and conditioning. He's the director of our strength and conditioning program with an incredible wealth of knowledge, and we're certainly grateful to have him share all of that with us today. Tim, it's all you.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Just want to make sure you can hear me. Yep, awesome.
Yep, we're good.
I had a little technical difficulty. I had to switch to my phone here at the last minute, so apologies on that if you saw me in and out of the meeting here. So I wanted to talk about just the at-home training mindset, which I'm sure was brought up in the beginning of this. And I think for my end of things, the biggest thing for our athletes to maintain is just maintain your schedule. What time you're going to bed, making sure you're getting enough sleep. I mean, kids need 10 to 12 hours of sleep a night. So we just got to keep on that. No up till 2 a.m. playing video games or whatever. You know, you have your schoolwork now from A time to B time. You have your tennis training, and then you have your physical training. So try to maintain a schedule. Try to keep things as normal as possible in a very trying time that we have here. I want to hit on a couple things. Probably start off with the nutrition end of things. Now, I'm not a nutritionist, and I don't give out any meal plans or anything to kids because I'm not certified to do that. But stick to the basics. And being as we're all at home now, we do need to be aware that we can't get into bad habits of snacks and, you know, breaking the schedule, basically. So your breakfast, you're looking at your eggs, oatmeals, healthy cereal, fruit. Lunches, stick with the lean proteins, mix in with some vegetables, chopped chicken salad or something along those lines. Dinner, same deal as the lunch, lean proteins and vegetables, and then add in some healthy carbohydrates, pastas and rices and stuff like that. Snacks, granolas, yogurts, nuts, raw veggies, and fruit. That you can never go wrong with any of those. Basic fitness stuff. So obviously we're living a reality now where we can't really socialize. This is as close as I'm going to get to Ari for a long time. It's not a bad thing. And we're not going to be able to socialize like we did before. And I'm sure a lot of our athletes are finding this a little bit easier than myself, because you're accustomed to group hangouts online and you wouldn't have messed up, signing on to this thing. But being isolated can be hard for us mentally and physically. And we know without a shadow of a doubt that exercise in general will help maintain healthy moods and mental states. Luckily for us, despite not being able to hang out at Starbucks anymore, we can and should go outside. Walking, running, biking, and hiking are perfectly fine and safe activities now. So outside of your normal training time, make sure to get outside and go for a walk with your dog or hike with your mom and dad. Stay active. That is the key in this trying time for all of us. I live pretty close to Central Park of Morris County, and it's been nice seeing all my neighbors from afar out there using the trails when it's usually just me. So in-home fitness, much like Adrian was saying, I'm going to be uploading a lot of content as we go throughout this time. But I wanted to start with just an equipment list. So for basic in-home training. And what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and drop this in the comment section so you guys can click on that and check out the document. And basically what's on it is all of the stuff you'll need to do your training in home. So for any of the kids out there who have worked with me in the past, they will know these guys like the back of their hands. We use these for everything. Get yourself a yellow, green, and a blue. I have a link there for you guys to go and buy them. They're super cheap. We also are going to be using a lot of larger resistance bands, which is from a slightly different company. But again, most of our athletes are going to know what these are as soon as they see them. I added in a door frame pull-up bar because that's just indispensable for any sort of pulling exercises. We're going to need a foam roller, and you're going to need a lacrosse ball for some recovery stuff. Additional stuff, if you have the means to get an adjustable dumbbell set and a bench, that would be the perfect kind of setup for the in-home training that we're going to be going through. I just filmed our first program here, so I'll be sending that out hopefully within the next day or two. And all of the athletes will have access to a full week of training programs, from our conditioning work to our strength work to speed and agility stuff. And that's really where I'm going to leave it. And stay safe, everybody.
All right, very cool. Tim, I'm getting a couple of our listeners are certainly interested in the workouts that you will be doing. So if you can share those, I see you sent the Google Docs there, but if you'll just post stuff, and Adrian as well with the drills, if you'll just we'll be posting it probably on our social media site. We'll be sending those out throughout the next couple of weeks. So we want everybody to know that as well. That's going to be constant. Well, as often as we can, we'll be posting ideas on how to stay active and stay fit. Let me move on to our final guest for today. Mr. Conrad is a legend in the tennis business. More importantly, he's a great friend of mine, and he's a brilliant mind when it comes to training on and off the court. He's gonna in this particular webinar, he's gonna focus on the player mindset. We will be doing many of these moving forward, and he's got a lot of information to share. So off to you, Conrad.
Thanks a lot, Ari. Can everyone hear me clearly? G'day, everyone, wherever you are. It's great to be able to have this forum and use this unfortunate situation to the best of our abilities. My goal today is to discuss mindset and really mental skill development at this time. This is a wonderful opportunity if we want to spin a positive light on the obvious for everyone to develop skills that they may not otherwise either create time to work on or have time to work on. The most important thing, I think all of our guest speakers have brought it up so far, is positivity. All right, so, see this as a beneficial time for the body to rest, recover, the mind to be fresh, and for, all of us to get back to 100%. If we're coming back from injuries or if we've got anything that's been niggling, now is really the time to focus on those things. It's a physical recovery time, as I said, and a real opportunity to develop in a lot of areas that we just simply often avoid. I think the key now is to be able to maintain and develop a competitive personality. So I've been fortunate recently to, I speak around at different conferences. Judy Murray was recently talking about this, being in Scotland and often having wet days and whatnot, having two boys like Andy and Jamie stuck at home, and all she would do was be very creative with whatever she could do to make the boys competitive. And I think we need to take that on board. One of the key mental skills I believe that we could all develop at this time, as it is so testing, is mental toughness. Okay, so mental toughness is one of those phrases that gets bandied around. Not many people really know what that means. For me, really, it's simply the ability to take advantage of every situation and to enjoy the process of being challenged, enjoy the process of competition and thriving on challenging moments. I think it's important to understand that mental toughness encompasses every aspect of the mental skill set, or of mental conditioning, as we call it. If you look at in today's tennis, guys like Stan Wawrinka, came back and hired a mental coach, and it was a defining difference in his career. The Canadian girl, Andrea, she did the same thing, big results last year. So we know that the mental side is absolutely essential. Again, I was recently speaking at a conference where Coco Gauff's father, Corey Gauff, was talking, and he was talking about the fact that he would constantly create challenges for Coco as a young girl when her personality was being developed, to help her become a problem-solving, open-minded, sort of accepting those challenging moments. And we can see what that's doing with her tennis, the maturity she's showing on court. So we have that opportunity now. I think displaying those type of character traits, it's very much like physical training. You need to train them. You need to deliberately and consciously train the mind to various moments, whether it be in a match, whether it be in life, or whether it be in the situation we're in right now, where probably most people are feeling like they could get outside and do whatever they would like to, but we're restricted. So that's going to be challenging. I think the all-important concept of resilience comes into play now. What is resilience? Resilience is basically being able to deal with adverse situations day in and day out, and understanding that success comes often after moments of resilience. So some people that don't have that, character trait of being overly resilient, this is the time to develop stress tolerance, and resilience in these difficult moments. Discipline, Tim talked about it, Adrian talked about it. Keeping schedules, making sure you are, it's very easy to reach into the cupboard and go for the wrong food choice. Remaining disciplined and staying a 24/7 athlete is something that we obviously encourage, and we hope that everyone does so. Another very important factor is the ability to adapt. We all know that tennis is all about adaptive skills. We all know that survival is all about adaptive skills. So we're in that moment right now. And so embracing the opportunities that are there and kind of using them to the best of your possibility is what we should be doing at this time. Another skill of mental toughness is the capacity to be able to improvise. I mean, we have some full-time players in homestay that have been training really hard and are ready to go to ITF tournaments. And we just found out that all ITF tournaments are closed until the middle of June. So, I mean, that's got to be disheartening for them. but that's, you know, an opportunity to work on that capacity to improvise, go back into the, you know, the technical room, the shadow swings, develop all those fundamental things. Pain tolerance, you know, not so much now, I guess, physical pain, but pain tolerance is one of those things, getting out of your comfort zone, you know, maybe setting daily goals on the physical work you're doing, whether it be timed runs or whether it be, you know, bike rides if you've got the ability to do that, but just sort of pain tolerance and going a little further than you normally will. The other one that's important is determination, okay, the character of determination. Now, you know, is the best time to, if you have UTR goals and you know that you're being let down by, let's call it a second serve, get out and shadow serve, you know, get out and watch a lot of videos. You train your brain. It's really an ideal time now to readdress some technical issues you might have. And again, you know, some of the greatest athletes, Tiger Woods, you know, Roger Federer, they are renowned for going into their pre-seasons and working on their areas of opportunity, working on their weak areas, not going in and developing strength. Most juniors, you know, they hit probably 80% worth of their training session is on their forehand side because they do it well and they like doing it. So now is a great opportunity to go and develop the weaker sides and to show some determination to improve those things. Being laser focused, another really important skill of mental skill and mental toughness. Laser focus comes from the inability to break concentration. So reading books, I'm sure most of the kids don't like reading books when they don't have to for school. Now is an absolutely awesome time to try to get those books in. Become a student of the game. I can't stress that enough. There is so much good literature out there. You know, for all of the negatives that come with social media, right now is the time where we see the benefits. We have everything available online. Go on YouTube, do some research, and develop areas that you feel you are not overly strong at. Now's the time to go there. Self-confidence is one of those mental toughness traits. We can also develop self-confidence right now, whether it be more tactical awareness or whether it be how to beat certain type of opponents, or whether it be learning about different game styles and trying to, you know, either master your game style or study other players' game styles. And really now is a great time to use the television screens and the laptops and whatnot for studying your own abilities. You might have—
Coach Conrad, can I ask you a quick question? I got a great question from the gallery. Mr. Caleb was asking on that topic, since everybody is home and a lot of people are hopefully reading a lot, are there any good books? I don't want to put you on the spot, but any that you know off the top of your head, or maybe that you want to send along after the webcast?
Absolutely. What I'll do is I'll put together and I'll send it through to you, Ari, and you can make sure that everyone gets those. I think, you know, there are so many resources out there right now that, you know, we should all be sort of researching. I will give you mine for sure. I think the other things I wanted to talk about with regards to the whole mental and mindset factor is trying to understand that this moment is the moment to develop yourself holistically. Okay, that word holistic meaning address the areas that people can't see, the intangibles. Okay, and I think growing your mind, growing your knowledge as a tennis player is something that is absolutely critical. You know, I've been fortunate to spend countless weeks on the tour with different athletes, and I'm always blown away. The best players know the most about tennis. That's not luck. That's not, you know, they just happen to be good at it. They actually spend time. They're reading different articles. The other thing to think about here is try to realize what type of learner you are. We have a system that's called the VARC system. Are you visual? Are you auditory? Are you a reader? Are you a feeler, meaning kinesthetic? If you are, you can develop all of those right now. So I really feel like, you know, there's a lot of opportunities for people that see this as a positive. Please understand that it's normal for developing players and young players, which are predominantly with our academy at Centercourt, to focus on technical, physical, tactical. But now it's the mental time. So please, if you really do need any information, we're happy to pass that on. the other side that we rarely talk about is the emotional skill development. There are many people that have maybe the right mindset, or a lot of kids, maybe they've done a lot of reading and they understand what it is they should be doing, but the emotion overrides rational thought. So we want to deal with the emotions a little bit better. How can we do that? We can do a little bit of visualization. I'm sure we could talk to any player and ask them to remember a great match where you played unbelievable and write down, 20 points, something related to that. Remember a match where you underperformed and write down 10 points that could have been better. Remember a match where, nothing went your way, and try to remember what was your mind focused on. So,
hey, Conrad, I got another. I'm sorry to keep cutting you off. I got another great question. I guess your speaking is inspiring some good questions. I got another one that is asking, what are some good activities you recommend to grow players' confidence? I'm sure you have some good ideas.
Again, Ari, we will certainly get to those in our next webinar that's specific about those activities. Today, our goal is to engage our audience and let them know that there is a lot that they can do. And these are great feedback. I can read the questions myself.
Oh, there you go. Good mindset.
We do have some activities that can be done. One thing I want to be really clear about here is that mental toughness, mental conditioning, mental skill development, that really drives motivation, which ultimately drives enjoyment. So it is really your chance to improve your overall enjoyment in the game of tennis by, staying motivated with all of the areas that you can, and by trying to be as active as you can. Remember, the key is being goal-orientated. There is no athlete on the planet, whether it be an Olympic athlete, a pro tennis player, a Premier League soccer player, that is not goal-orientated. You must have those goals. You must write them down, and you must work at them daily. Set a plan, attack that plan. And if you can, this is the time to really work, like I said, on your weaker areas as well. Don't just focus on your strengths and the things that you like doing. I really would like everyone, again, I started with this, to think about mental conditioning exactly like you do physical conditioning. Okay, try to spend time in those areas with those activities. And the easiest one is reading. Start to try to expand your concentration for periods of time that you can sit longer. And many kids today, they simply can't sit for that long periods, maybe because they're usually distracted by iPads and Switches and Nintendos. It's probably a good time to try to put that stuff away and get back to some old school learning. I'd like everyone to understand the tennis road, the journey. It is like that. It's up. There's always downs. I don't think this is a down. This is simply a moment to work on, character. We say tennis reveals character and builds character. So it's a great time to work on that factor of character. I think the other thing we can do a lot of now, which kids don't do a lot, is charting. You can watch matches and actually turn it into an activity. Again, I've got a lot of different charting sheets. Happy to share those. There are applications on phones that are great for charting, where you might pick your favorite player, watch it on TV, and actually chart what's going on. How often do you ask a player when they walk off court, what happened today? I played bad. Okay, so what happened out there? We're missing a learning opportunity. Trying to get players to understand that tennis is obviously played in waves of momentum, times that you're going to be playing well and winning, times that you're not going to be playing well and losing, which is when resilience, and again, we talked about stress tolerance earlier, really comes in. I think passion right now can be worked on through watching more tennis, as I said. And remember, Rafa Nadal and Uncle Tony talk a lot about developing those pillars of character, being humble, showing integrity, showing respect for the sport, showing, a passion for being a student. They're all the things that we can work on now. Problem-solving skills, time management skills, scheduling we've already talked about. Overall, I think probably the best thing we could really work on right now is understanding that this is a long pathway. It takes many years to become a great tennis player. 9 years, they say, to master the game. I've seen players take longer than that. I've seen players take less than that. But the moral of that story is it's a long journey. So this is just part of the journey. Coach Adrian discussed many things you can do: shadow swings, volleys, ball and wall, movement, footwork. It's a great time for footwork. And again, I'll give some different guys that I've worked with that I think are some of the best in the industry. And a lot of their material is, for free on the internet. So I think that's important. For parents, it's a great time now to understand the journey that your child is on. Most of the time, a lot of tennis players have a difficult relationship with their parents if their parents are, maybe not the easiest to work with. So developing a harmonious relationship can happen now by spending time to sit down with your kid, understand their goals, talk to them about, what's real, what's not real, watch some tennis with them. I think it's really also a great time, related a little bit more to physical, working on self-esteem, confidence, body, image, all those things you can do now through having so much time to work on those areas. Tasks that can be done with being engaged and with purpose. Like I said, shadow technical form, focus on technical things. Maybe you've got ideas that your coach talked to you about a lot. Extend your left arm towards the ball, or keep the racket tipped to the right side of your body. Now's the time to do that through shadow work. You might use a mirror. You might use a window, somehow being able to see yourself improving in those areas. It's also a great way to brain train. So model technique. If there's a player that you like how they do, and many kids today are modeling top players as they always have. Nick Kyrgios seems to be a favorite right now. So, watching those players, burning those images into your mind, and then closing your eyes and trying to shadow swing will help you to develop that. Watch old matches of yourself. If you have old footage of yourself playing points, watch those and kind of summarize yourself. What descriptive words would you use? Would it be intensity? Would it be smooth? Or would it be stressful? Or would it be, I don't like the way that person's behaving on court? They're the type of things you can address right now. As I said, charting is important. It's the ideal time for more physical training. Ideal time also for nutrition, improving in the areas of nutrition. But I really think that mental rehearsal and imagery is what we should be trying to encourage as much as we can at this time. Overall, guys, look, I really would hope that everyone can use this chance to read, to research, to visualize, to dream a little bit more about what your goals are, whether it be high school champion, the UTR 12 player. Do that at this time. Visualize and dream is one of the key traits of high performance athletes. That is an absolute fact. Those top players are not top players by just hoping for it. They are visualizing it. I recall Andy Roddick, when he won his US Open, saying that the interviewer asked him, "So Andy, how do you feel winning for the first time?" His response was, "What do you mean? I won the US Open 1,000 times in the backyard." So that's the type of mindset we want to encourage. Dream big and go for it. One point I want to stress, if I can, just quickly, Ari, handwritten diary is so important. It's training the inner voice, which ultimately is the only coach that a tennis player can have. The conversations they're having with themselves is what they are listening to. And we know the very nature of tennis, the rules of the game, do not allow outsiders to step in the heat of battle. So by keeping a diary, keeping a journal, the great Jim Lure talks about this a lot. Internal voice training is so important. Keep a diary every day of everything that you're doing. It's also a good time to do things like visual training. Try to speed up your reactions using a ball and a wall. Very simple. Use a golf ball, use a ping pong ball, different types of balls with different rebound properties, and try to train your left side, train your right side. Developing ambidextrous skills. We know that tennis is a two-sided sport. Upper and lower body, left and right side. So now is a time to develop it. I'm sure everyone watching who's had a tennis lesson at some point, their coach has said, your backhand, you need more left arm. So now's the time to go and develop your feel with your left side. Try to be evenly balanced on both sides. Let's take your fitness to a new level, okay? Let's remember, mental conditioning is no different to fitness. You got to work on it every day. Other than that, like I said, I'll put together a list of various references, and I hope that in the coming weeks, hopefully not months, while we're doing these things, we get some ideas back from everyone on what it is that you would like to hear. I hope that everyone is connected to our Centercourt email list and our Clubstar and our social media. If you're not, Ari can help you with that. Hope that helps, Ari.
Yeah, that was unbelievable information, Conrad. Thanks to everybody for for being involved. One thing I wanted to add real quick about match play is that I know a lot of people are still actually asking to compete. We obviously don't want to encourage anyone to go, to go outside and to, be around other people and be around the public. But I have spoken to the UTR a lot, and what they are saying is that if kids want to go out, if they want to go play a match with their friends, it is tennis. They are, you are a certain distance away, even though there's other factors, obviously. But if you do want to go play a match with a friend, even a competitive match, you can make it a UTR match. You can send me the score. I can put it in. So we do want to let everybody know that if they want, if you want to find out other kids that are in your area, you can let me know. And I have a list of all Centercourt players that live in Milburn or Short Hills or Livingston or Edison, anywhere. So as much as, we want to keep everybody safe, stay in your house, stay safe, all of that stuff. If you do want to play a tennis match and you do want to play a UTR match and you do want to compete, we can, you can do that. Other than that, that's really, I think, all we have. We plan on doing a numerous amount of webinars. Obviously, as you can see, these guys are a wealth of information. We have other people that want to get involved as well. So they'll be joining us, some health professionals, professionals from other sports. If you yourself wants to join one, like I said, we'd be more than happy to have you. This is sort of a new experience for us. I know Conrad's been doing this for a while, but we want to keep everybody engaged. This also helps us as coaches and management and all that, keep our minds moving forward. I think that's it. Does anybody have any last words? Or if not, we'll speak to everybody soon. We will be, like I said, posting these. We'll probably have a schedule out in the next couple of days, and we'll change it, and we'll add things and all that kind of stuff. Anything else? Or we really appreciate everybody coming along with us today.
All good. Thank you, Ari.
Thanks
you, everyone.
to everybody.
All
Stay
right.
well.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Out.
Bye.